Salt Lake City, episode 2, restored my hope that this season can live up to that bitchin' trailer we got. Season premiere, not so much, but episode 2 and the teaser for episode 3, hope restored. It's looking good, looking real promising. Hi, I'm Emily, host of the podcast She Speaks Bravo, and if you like obsessively detailed and analytical recaps about Bravo TV and true crime, then make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell so you never miss a video. Now let's get into my recap of this week's episode of Salt Lake City with my guest Tom Hamlett, host of the podcast Dumpster Dive. My name is Emily, and I have been watching Bravo TV as a form of self-care for over a decade. Needless to say, I'm a complete mess. Subscribe and follow along for painfully insightful recaps about Bravo, true crime, and other great TV. Hit that bell. So today, my guest, Tom Hamlett, half of the podcast Dumpster Dive, a wonderful podcast. He's fantastic. I was just on his podcast and I couldn't wait to get him over here. So he's going to be joining me in just a second. But before I go into that, I wanted to talk about my new membership options over on YouTube. If you're already over here watching on YouTube, hey. But if you're listening, these options are available in lieu of a Patreon because I don't want to put my content behind a paywall just yet. I'd like it to be available to everybody. And until we start getting a ton of ads and sponsors on here, and I want to offer like an ad-free stuff, then I'll do a Patreon and we'll explore that. But until then, here's some membership options for you. There's 2 levels. There's the level 1 Queens for $4.99 a month. You get a custom badge and emoji for when I do lives. You can use those little badges and emojis. And you get to look at these polls. You don't get to vote in them. No, you get to vote in bonus content polls. So I get a lot of suggestions for things to cover besides recaps, like if a newsworthy thing happens or if a casting update occurs and people request that I cover it as a bonus episode. But I can't obviously cover everything. And so what I'll do is I'll post in the community tab on YouTube a poll, like what should I cover next? And you'll get to vote on that. Now, the next level Queens for $9.99 a month, you'll get those same perks, but you'll also get a shout out at the top of every episode and early access to those bonus episodes. You'll get those 3 days before everyone else. Cool, right? All you have to do is go onto my YouTube page and there's a join button and you hit join. And I think if you're a member, it will announce anytime I post anything to members only, it'll send you a notification. So you'll know when I do any updates that are just for you members. And these membership levels, anything that monetarily goes towards me, like when you guys buy me a coffee or anything like that, which by the way, thank you. I've been getting tons of people have bought me coffees in the last few days. I really appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. All of that stuff just goes back into this. It goes towards making time and not having to do other things that pay my bills, making time to give you guys more content. And then if more members that sign up, more income that comes through this platform would go into better equipment and cooler stuff that can be given back to you guys, really. Because I love doing this. But obviously, it doesn't pay the bills quite yet. And that's the goal, right? To be able to just do this and bring you guys content all day, every day. So thank you guys already for the support you do give me. But those are now some options for you. Also, there's an option if you don't want to do a membership, if that's just too much of a commitment, because don't worry, I have commitment issues too. You can just do a one-time thing on YouTube called a super thanks. It's under each video. There's a little icon that is a heart with a $sign and a thanks. You can hit that and you can just give a one-time donation. There's options. I think it goes up to like $50. If you ever do donate on a video that has, let's say, like Kendrick or Pia in it. For right now, those are my only two regular co hosts. But if you ever donate on one of those videos and you say, I just love Pia and I love Kendrick, I will absolutely split the profits with them because I am not great. I'm very, very generous, I promise, because I do know that they bring so much value. And when the day comes and I can pay them handsomely, I will, I promise. But if you guys ever donate and want that money to go to them, I promise I will give it to them, I swear. But yeah, that is an option too. If you're like, membership sounds a little intense, there's an option. Just if you're like, this one video in particular is fabulous, I want to give you $2, there's an option there too. So lots of ways to show support monetarily now, and it is a wonderful thing for me, I must say. So anyway, let's get Tom in here for the Salt Lake City episode 2 recap. Enjoy the show. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Oh my God, of course. I'm happy to be here.
Do you remember the first time we interacted? Because I do.
Oh no, I don't. Oh my God, what was it?
It was when you had gone on Watch What Happens Live and
Oh
became like,
God.
I know it was like you were really intimidated. You had gone on and seen Sutton. It was like Sutton's first Watch What Happens Live, maybe.
Yes, I was there in person for her first Watch What Happens Live. Yeah.
And like you accidentally like went viral basically because then everyone was hitting you up like, give me all the details.
Oh, because I forgot about this because there beforehand. Oh my God, this feels like forever. I made like a little reel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Andy made answered a question about the Kardashians in the pre, like, so for those that don't know, if you go to Watch What Happens Live, Andy comes out early and you get like it can be anywhere between like a minute to 5 minutes depending on how many people have questions about anything. You can just like literally ask him. And this was right before they had released the reunion special for the Kardashians. And um someone asked a question about it and he was weird. He was like, he essentially said that they had to cut so much out of it because it was against like their really like against things they were allowed to talk about. It was really interesting. He was like, it's very different than anything I've ever done because usually he gets to just kind of shoot the shit, and it wasn't the case. Oh my God, that feels like forever ago.
Yeah. So you released that reel innocently, just thinking you were gonna.
It was innocently, and people ate it up and got really scary.
Yeah. And I remember I hit you up in like your DMs and you were like, like I didn't really expect for everyone to come asking too many questions. And also when you talk about the Kardashians, it gets scary because it's the Kardashians and
Sure.
they like to shut people down.
Well, right. And also, like, I am not a Kardashians person, so
Yeah, me neither.
that's the hardest part. I'm like, I so don't care about it. So just
Me
saying that
too.
was interesting to me, but there are people that are such big defenders of them that they're like, that can't be true. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that being in your comments, some people being like, I actually heard that's not true. And you're like, okay, I don't
I know.
care.
I heard it literally from the source, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. So we go way back, guys. Okay.
We go way back.
Okay. All right. So because Salt Lake City is such a polarizing cast, I need to do because you're my first guest for Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do whenever I have a guest on is get like a state of the union for where people are with the cast. So I'm going to name it. I'm going to name the cast off and you're just going to be like love, hate, whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Meredith.
I am neutral on Meredith. I season 1 diehard, but now I'm kind of neutral on her.
Okay. Jen.
She's weirdly like the most likable convict in the world.
Okay. Okay. Heather.
Heather is the ego's getting bigger.
Okay. Whitney.
Love.
Okay. Lisa.
Don't tell anyone. Love.
Okay, good. Yay! Yeah. That's the biggest test. Okay. Okay, yes. Good. We're in good hands here. Okay. Okay.
I know. Right. I feel like those takes aren't that off from everyone. The biggest I mean, there are diehards for Heather. And I'm not defending Jen. I just mean like she's light as a feather. I've never seen someone so light and like, I mean, granted, she was screaming at her mother, but like just like on this vacation, I've never seen someone so just easy breezy, even though she's an impending
She
maybe
had a
30.
moment or two that was very light and breezy, and I was like, God, how you slip in and out of suicidal thoughts
Yeah.
into, like, she made me laugh at one point. I'm like, how the hell did you do that?
Like when she was talking about the garbage trash lingerie party, it was so, she was just like acting like everything was fine. I'm like, you're also referencing like trauma between two
Yeah.
best friends. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so they're doing like their little round robin in the beginning.
Mm.
We get a brief moment with Jack and Lisa talking about college, and we'll get further into that. But we get like a brief, but they touch on it. They give us a little nibble of that. But then now we're gonna go to Jen's mom's house. I'd like to point out Jen has made a charcuterie. This is like a through line because Whitney will also make a charcuterie later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a no cheese kick, and it made me really want cheese.
I
So
don't do much dairy anymore, but I do it like when I'm looking to indulge. But yeah, there's really, say what you want. There's nothing better than like some wine and a cheese board. What it's
that
I can't
both
even
cheese
talk about
boards
it
look
so much.
good.
If I talk
Yeah.
about it too much, I'm just gonna want to make that tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So Jen does her like crying thing with her mom. You can tell Jen does this all the time with her mom. When she
Yeah.
started to go to a place of it makes me want to end my life, her mom did this thing where she was like, Jen, I can't do this again. And
Well, Jen's done it with us a lot.
yeah, like her mom was like, nope, I
Uh-huh.
can't go, I can't do this bit again for the cameras. Okay.
And I'm not trying to delegitimize her trauma. I just think she's what's hard about her is she's a very cry wolf, right? Because she's like always at a 10.
Yes.
She's never at a 6 or 7. Like everything's at a 10. So it's hard to know sometimes when it's a real cry for help. Not to say anyone who says things like that absolutely needs help, of course. And
That's exactly the problem.
but the problem is she says that, and then the next scene she's just like so easy breezy, and it's just like it's not that I don't believe you're in that space, but you bop around so much that it's hard.
And
Yeah,
unfortunately, you chose to run a criminal enterprise.
yeah, you weren't forced upon that career life.
And did you see what her guilty plea? Did you read any of like what she like the specifics she had to plead guilty to? Because it's not like you just walk in
Mhm.
and say I plead guilty and then they move they have to go specifically through each and every
Oh, I didn't
charge.
see it.
And one of the things that she had to plead guilty to was opening accounts in her family's names.
No,
Yeah.
that's dark. I mean, granted, she took a plea deal, right? So like she's agreeing that she did things and she'll serve time for the things she's saying she did. She maybe didn't do that, but like you have to say you did.
Yes. Yes.
But if that is a part of the things that she really, 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 really did, that is sick.
Yes, I do agree that they're like you have to plead guilty to all of the things or
To
you
get,
don't get the deal.
yeah, because we don't
And
know the deal, quote unquote.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen?
God, I don't know.
Okay, I low key like know the judge.
What? Who says that?
I don't know the judge. I know the judge's daughter. I can't say
What?
more than that, but I literally know the judge's daughter. Yeah, she's good friends with my boyfriend. So
That
when the case like first came out and we saw who the judge was, I was like, wait, that's not so and so's dad, right? And I texted my boyfriend's friends and I'm like, hey, like, is this so and so's dad? And they were like, yeah, how crazy is that?
wow.
Yeah.
What a small world.
Very small. I also have more weird, funny connections to housewives through my boyfriend who does not watch reality television. It's hilarious. Like he weirdly has all these bizarre connections to the franchises. Like he knows people who knows people, knows producers, knows these things. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know one.
Well, what do you guys talk about?
Well, the other side of me that is not very public is I'm a video game nerd. So that's a lot of our relationship with video
Oh,
games and movies and things like that. So
that's so gay of
there's
you.
there's much more in me than just housewives. Okay, I speak many languages.
Oh, it's so funny. People don't realize how gay video games are. Like,
Okay, and I
it's a
actually didn't
very gay
realize it.
culture.
I agree. I didn't realize it until I met Brian. He because we watch like some gay streamers and we play some games and like some online games too. And he's like, you realize that everyone here is gay? I'm like, no, this is such like a bro thing. He's like, no, yeah, look at their like they can put little tags on you or something and it's like rainbow. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah,
hey.
I know, right?
Well, you know what it is? It's like dress up.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what it is. Like
Comic books.
right, you're getting to fulfill this like fantasy of like being like an altered person, like there's something about that is innately queer, like throwing on getting to choose like a skin or an outfit of choice in a video game is a dream you have as a kid, like being closeted.
Oh, that was
That makes
so
sense.
cute.
Yeah, I know. Really justifying my video game addiction as like
I
a
got like that like
positive
warmed
health.
my heart.
Yeah, well, I think that it's like people think it's so straight, which it is, and
Well,
it's.
because yeah, it
I know
can be.
I'm not deep into the gamer world, but I know that there's a very toxic as a part of every
I recently learned
community.
about how psychotically toxic it could be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really, of course, to no one's surprise, a lot of racism with like the way characters are built out through stories, and people get offended. Oh, I'm like, this is too much, y'all. This is a game.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I didn't realize that the gamer community, like in the headsets and stuff, can get
Mhm.
really like sexist. And
Oh yeah.
I went down a weird rabbit hole on YouTube the other day. Can you tell? Because I have like this absurd knowledge of random things. So, okay,
Well,
wait.
so wait. One more thing about gaming, and then we'll get back to it. So during peak pandemic, like quarantine, pre-vaccines, all that stuff, we were my friend group, my sister, Brian, and then a couple of our other friends. We all started playing Fortnite, and Fortnite is like truly the game that the 8-year-olds play. Okay, like it's a game for children, but we started playing because we could online play quarantining from home, and you could still talk to your friends like in the game. So sometimes when you play, like if you don't do the right setting, you get matched up with strangers if you're playing in a squad. And one time we were playing, well, a couple times we were playing, and when you're playing with your friends who are adults, you just don't really think about it that when you're playing against like other people, that they are likely like on their lunch break from like getting at home schooling because of COVID, right? So we're playing a video game, and then I accidentally joined like a squad, and then their chat was on, and it was like, "Timmy, don't you do that!" No, like these like high pitched kids. I'm like, oh my god, this is mortifying. Like I'm literally playing with a 6-year-old. And of course they're like such dicks. Like, I was like, I need to get out of here. This is a low. This is rock bottom. Like I'm 30 years old, like furloughed. So,
You'll never forget that moment.
no.
Oh my god. That's like a scene on a sitcom. Oh my god, that's funny. My face hurts. Whew. That was good. That was a good little. That was a good tangent.
I have stories. I know how we went from knowing Jen's judge to playing video games with
To gaming to your rock bottom gaming experience.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of not a rock bottom, Whitney's charcuterie board.
Okay, that one looked especially good.
Oh my god. Even Meredith was impressed, and Meredith is kind of tough to impress. She's like, "Did you make that?"
Yeah, did you do that?
She's like, and Whitney was like, "Yeah." Like Whitney was like a little offended. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing.
The only thing about the boards, they're expensive because you have to buy so many things and you don't end up eating all of it. No, when you have people over, you always end up with so many like dried ass cheese slices, and you're like, well, shit.
Once those edges get dry, you're like, no one's touching that cheese. The edge cheeses are done.
No, it's a wrap for them.
Yeah, over. Whitney points out she's never shown any interest in hanging out before this, but this recent falling out with Lisa, she seems to have some time for me. That is true. There's been a huge shift in the alliances.
There has, and it's fun. It feels. I'm comparing the season to Mob Wives. It literally feels like a season of Mob Wives where it's like, oh, you guys don't like each other. Like no one here likes each other. We're just here to
100%.
kill. But in last season, they didn't like each other, and it was annoying me. So far this season, they don't like each other, and I'm kind of loving it because they're
This
really
season,
leaning into the hate.
they need to like each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why Meredith is actually engaging? Because last season she was like, I'm just hanging out with Mary.
Right. Which
This
was
season,
such a weird person to back. And
right?
I actually do like Mary and miss her, but like they just had nothing going on, the two of them.
They enjoyed not talking. They enjoyed sitting in a scene, not really talking.
Right. Like
right?
Best in Show. Yeah.
Like Best in Show.
We enjoy talking and not talking. but Meredith, this is where Meredith loses me, is like she's not as sleuth as Lisa is when Lisa's moving her little chess pieces. Like this rumor about Lisa, it's like I get what she's doing. She's like, look at me, I'm gonna spread a rumor that is based in nothing because you did that to me. But it's like, I'm like, take the higher fucking road. Like I just don't know that it's the right move. You're succumbing to her low level. Like instead just like play the high road and just don't trust her. Like I just don't really know the point in furthering a story about her sleeping around to get Vita in places. It's just that's not true.
The execution isn't fun either.
No.
Because like either do it and be real fun and like shady with it, or because she's actually trying to do it through other people. So first she just wants to talk about how hypocritical Lisa is. And I found this compilation of Lisa talking shit to be a little weak.
I agree.
Because it wasn't, I'm like, they could do the same compilation for all of you. Like they could put one together for all of you doing this, some sort of talking shit. And then she does, well, there's rumors flying around about her. And then Whitney cannot wait. She's like, well, what have you heard? And then Meredith says, Jen made reference to affairs. I'm like, well, no, you don't really get to say you did too. So already I'm like, stand in it, say it. Yeah. Say it if you want to say it. And then Whitney's like, well, then what do you know? And she then chews the loudest cracker in the world to avoid it. Uh-huh. And then I've just heard she's doing favors to get Vita Tequila picked up in places. Okay, no, fine. She's going to later claim that she didn't mean sexual favors. Fine. If you didn't mean sexual favors, let me just tell you, as someone who worked in the restaurant industry, it's completely normal to be like, okay, let's do something. Okay, I will give you like 50% off this alcohol here if you. So what did you mean? You clearly meant sexual favors. So so she's going to try to do that. Like, well, I didn't mean that. That's annoying. So just stand in it or don't say it at all. Mm-hmm. But then Whitney takes it and Whitney's like, okay, I can't handle this. I know that sounds absurd, but I've heard that this very wealthy man who's very well known in Utah, really up in the ante, very well known in Utah. She slept with him to get him to invest in her businesses. And then she goes, I feel bad talking about her. Okay, guys, I did just omit that from the dialogue. Right. And then Meredith, the last thing I want to do is sit and talk about Lisa.
I hard disagree on that one.
I need you guys to omit this from dialogue when just admit you're here to talk some shit. I want Meredith to say, look, she asked for it. I want her to say something like that. I'm here for good TV. I don't listeners, you already know this. I don't like Meredith. I don't like her one bit. Okay. I think she's fake. I don't like her. I don't like her weird voice. I don't like it. Lisa is one of my problematic favorites. I get it. I see why people dislike her, but Lisa is also like, she's also not necessarily great at what she does. Cause she's kind of like, it's like, she's like a magician that does a trick. And she's like, did you see that? And you're like, Lisa.
But it's a little different though, because what she does, which is she has the I call it the Teresa Giudice, where she's not totally smart enough to make it all
Yes.
work, which makes it more enjoyable to watch because it's so sticky and it's like
You're
and
like,
she reminds me a lot of kind of Ramona Singer too sometimes. Like she has just aspects of her where she's like not as good at this game as she
yes.
thinks she is.
Yes.
And, and so that's what makes her watchable. Like she's so
Yes.
flawed, but she thinks she's Lisa Vanderpump. And say what you want about Lisa, but Lisa was a great
Yes.
player at the game of reality television. Like never saw her
100%.
sweat. So
100%.
but Lisa's constantly sweating behind her Diet Coke. So
100, like that's exactly it. As where
yeah.
Meredith doesn't want to play the game, but she is playing the game, and it's
Mhm.
always like she's tilting her head. I don't know. I'm doing all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But then along comes Whitney and her energy sessions with Meghan. And I just, if your name's Meghan, I don't know why. I just really want you to change it to like Jade or something. Just
Right.
give it some
Energy healer,
flair,
Megan.
right? Give
Yeah.
it a little flair.
We need some.
But she was able to tap into Lisa's scared inner little girl. And to be honest, I think that's why I always kind of can see Lisa's good side, because I'm like, I get why Heather is triggered by Lisa, because she seems just like mean girl, but I can also see that Lisa is just like not pure mean girl.
She's not. I think she's a child in many ways. And like
Yeah.
I kind of see what Whitney was seeing in that. Part of me doesn't buy seeing her and energy. I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm down for all of the cuckoo weirdo energy healing shaman stuff. It's hard for all the people in the world, like in this universe, the person that
You're
go
tapping
to
into
is Diet Coke Lisa Barlow. Like that's the one you
that.
see.
Just shows how much Whitney is triggered by Lisa.
Sure.
Like that's how much Whitney thinks about Lisa. That,
Well, to Lisa's point, you are counting Lisa Barlow's in your sleep.
like, it's not like Lisa was not wrong, but I like that Meredith was not expecting that. So she goes, wow, I hear you. At this point in my view, but why am I bothering? I'm like, yeah, she didn't expect it to go that way. But
Right.
then Whitney does the obligatory, hear me out. This trip coming up is a time for healing. I'm like, of course, we have to say that as a housewife. Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Cutting over to Lisa playing basketball with Jack. Lisa's voice, she's like, let me see a little layup. Her playing basketball is really comedic.
It is, but she doesn't get it. That's another moment of her not getting when she's good,
Funny.
which I don't ever want her to get it, because that's what stays so entertaining.
Exactly. If she ever gets it, it won't be good.
And she also didn't get how crazy she came across in this scene. I'm like, I think it kind of makes sense for him to be like, I don't want to go to college right now.
I do like that she realizes
that
she's like, I created this monster though, because he does sound like a little asshole, because he's like, I have my own business. And she's like, hold on.
I unfortunately know many of him in 10 years.
100%. She's like, yeah, but it's really my business. Like, I only pretend that it's your business. Like, how are you going to start another business? He's like, I'm just going to be like rich. He goes, college is where they go to build machines, not humans. I'm like, oh, you read that somewhere. You read that.
That's a Joe Rogan quote.
Totally. Totally. But then Lisa starts crying because she can't get through to him. Lisa, you did do this. Like, you did, because you've been like pumping into their brains that they're business owners.
Right.
And they're not really. Like, you handed them a business and made them like pitch a few products once or twice on camera. And he's like, this is what owning a business is. They're not. And she's like, but wait, what do you mean you don't want to go to college? Of course he doesn't want to go to college. Why would this kid want to go to college?
Oh,
so you created a monster.
Show. Right. He can be on a TV show. He has a business that's only going to get more press on a TV show. And he's going to sell that business. She's going to give him part of it. And he's going to be able to invest in something that he wants to invest in. And he's going to keep making more money. He's a little
life.
He's fine. He'll be fine. He really doesn't need to go to college. I actually agree. Like, it's a waste of money. Like, you set him up
of money.
Yeah, you set him up for this waste of money. Like, don't do it.
100%. I get that the optics look bad maybe for Lisa because she's like, hold on, I need you to be a hard worker. It's like, well, no, but you set him up to not have to be.
I think that is gonna dissipate as we get older. Like, I don't think that like college is the sign of a hard worker anymore. You know,
Agreed.
it's
Agreed. It's
just
very
not.
boomer.
It's very boomer, and most jobs you apply to, at least like in in New York, when you look on LinkedIn, a lot of jobs like they don't require degrees
Good.
anymore. They require experience in the field that you want to be in. Like,
Good.
yeah, that's how it should be. Like, a
Good.
degree isn't going to teach you how to work in a corporate environment, you know?
With the college debt where it is, it's like just let's stop adding to it. The
Mhm.
university business is a scam. So,
Completely agree. As a holder of a BFA in musical theater, I couldn't agree more.
in musical theater. Oh, that's even
Yeah.
better.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Yeah.
Using none of that today, but that's okay.
Again,
It is what it is.
I love it though. I love it though. What's your favorite musical?
I love Sondheim, so I always say Sweeney Todd is likely my pretty
Hmm.
much my favorite. And then what else do I love? Yeah, I mean Sondheim is anything Sondheim is really my go-to, and then Sweeney is my favorite Sondheim. So yeah.
As long as you didn't say Rent.
No, only people who say Rent are like between the ages of like what 12 and 8, 12 and 17, and then some like 38 to
Very
45-year olds.
specific people. Very specific people.
Yeah, I won't go. I have more I could say about those people, but I'll just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Although I kind of do die for the Rent movie. It's so bad, but so fun.
Yes,
So bad.
it's so bad. No
Yeah.
offense to the Rent lovers, but if it's your favorite of all musicals, it's a
Like,
different story. You can
it's just
like
weird.
Rent.
Some of the music does hit though. Like, I do
I
get why
know,
you like
I
the
know. Are
music.
you kidding me? I know like almost
Oh,
all of
I
the
could
good
recite the whole
jams.
thing. Of course, right.
I could do the entire show by myself.
But as you grow up, you're kind of like, this musical is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's about nothing, and it's
It's
so
yeah.
many problems are so solvable. But you know what? I bet it's gonna have a resurgence with Gen Z because some of it's giving Gen Z.
Oh my God, great point. Great
To our
point.
Gen Z watchers out there, you don't
Great
like them.
point.
Pay your rent, okay?
Great point. Yeah. No, I love Rent. Don't get me wrong. Could literally do I'm more of a Roger girl. I was very disappointed that that role was a guy because I feel like
Mhm.
that's more my range. But
Oh, you would kill Roger.
I would kill Roger. But yeah, no, I love Rent, but if it's like your favorite number one musical, it's just a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm a
That would
cabaret
work
girl
for
with the
Oh, see,
movie
Canner and Ab I
version.
love too. Cabaret is definitely in my top 3, so.
Yeah. 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 Okay, back to this. That was fun.
Mhm.
Okay, Whitney and Justin at home. Ooh, ooh,
Oh, wow.
ooh.
I literally am fresh off watching it, like literally finished it,
I
put my
bawled.
laundry away, and I mean sitting here with you. So the emotions
Ooh.
are right here. I mean, like, this whole episode was very emotional, and uh she is going through a lot, and we just need to continue to send all of our love to her. And it further breaks my heart that her and Heather fall out this early. I didn't realize that this
I
trip
didn't
was that
either.
footage. I thought that was like the next vacay. Like, that is really tough stuff. And you can see later that Heather feels a little in her feelings about the fact that the first time she's hearing about this is in front of everyone.
Yep. Felt the same. I thought I saw it in her eyes.
You can see between that, and I have a lot of thoughts about her leaving the church and Heather's reaction to it, because it was weird. It was very subtle, but what felt so crazy about it was that it was like Whitney did this so quickly, and it was like, Heather, you just wrote a book called Bad Mormon. You like have done all these things. It sounds like you're actually like holding on. you're not really willing to let go. Whitney was able to let go one night. Like it just did it, you know? And everyone deals with cults differently, and it's a cult. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is. I mean, a lot. You don't want to get me on organized religion, but a lot of organized religions and cults, the Venn diagram sometimes can become a circle, and 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 so it it's they everyone's allowed to have a different relationship and a different exit strategy, but I think there's a lot of resentment happening with Whitney versus Heather.
I do know what happens between them, and you're right on the money.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, you are right on the money.
Wait, have you seen further episodes?
No, I just have a source.
Okay, great.
That knows all of the things about Salt Lake City, and you are right on the mark.
I think we might have the same source, to be honest with you.
It's possible. We'll talk offline. We'll offline. So her face though, like you can just see, you could feel the rawness of it. Her brother's doing memory recall work and told her that she had been abused, and just the way she is crying. I mean, I was crying.
You know, when she said you still love me, I was like, no,
done.
no.
I was done because it just, when you can tap into a memory like that, and it's so much shame comes with it. So much shame comes when you've been abused. And then, oh my God, it was. And then she said that Meghan, her energy healer, Meghan, just so that we're clear, was saging the house, and that every bathroom had demons. So, yeah. So last week I did an impression of Whitney's robotic voice, and I noted that she's not doing that voice now. So clearly, like,
that's interesting.
This like it was kind of a trauma response. Like Jane Fonda talked about when she did you ever see the movie Clute?
No.
God, I highly recommend it. It's from the 70s, and I haven't seen it in a minute. It's fucking scary. Not in like a horror way, but just really creepy and good. But she talked about how when she did that movie, it changed her as a woman, and her voice went from being up here to right down here. She did it inside the actor's studio. So that's what I'm like remembering.
Oh my God. Did you see her Jane in 3 acts on HBO, like the documentary she did a couple years ago?
No, but do I need to?
No, it's 5. I think it's more than 3 acts. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Gotta watch it if you're a big Jane Fonda fan.
I am, so I will be watching. And so it kind of like Whitney's giving me that energy where like she's now like uncovering her truth. And so this, because her voice it sounded like she was reading off a teleprompter all the time. And now I'm not getting that. I'm getting like real raw Whitney.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't notice that. Once again, I'm like fresh off of it, but that's such a good perspective.
Oh, look at me. Yeah, no, this was a lot.
Yeah.
I did not expect to cry as much as I did, but I was right there with her.
Well, and we have a great season when like half the trailer we already got, or we're getting in the first 3 episodes. It's just wild. Like in Beverly Hills, this would stretch over 2 seasons.
God, tell me about it. All right, so this is Jen's funny moment. Jen is like, oh, we're going to have a garbage trash horror theme party, and does like a whole thing. And of course, the coach is like, no, that is a bad idea. But then she does her little cheer, and I'm like, it's like nothing's wrong. It's like
Lion Breezy.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
But Whitney's getting ready, and she tells Justin that her brother, she's a half brother, Curtis, that lives in Arizona, who sounds super supportive. And I wish we could meet him. I don't know if we will, but he just sounds great. He's like, you get here and we're going to support you. I think even that made me cry. I think when she said that, I'm like, get to Arizona so that Curtis can support you.
Her two we don't know this one, but the other one is so sweet and kind with her. Like we've seen that in the past couple seasons. So that really breaks me too, that he had to be the one to like reveal that to her. Cause I'm sure that was so hard on him. Like he really, like he's like a personal trainer or something, right? Like, and she'll like go. He seems like such a nice guy. So
they had like a rollerblading group or something. Ugh, God. Yeah. Right there with you.
Okay. I'm going to bring something up and I just need your thoughts on it. And do we think this is dad related?
I do, because that dad, that dad.
Stuff. I know.
When that dad like guilt tripped her because she wasn't gonna pay for whatever he
Felt
wanted
like
her to pay
abuser.
for. Yeah, very manipulative. The way he looked at her too, he gave her this look like, you're not gonna do it for me, like, and you always do it for me.
Right.
So I felt like it was dad
Yeah, I feel like that's
related.
like the one thing they're not saying yet, because I think she knows who. She definitely knows who it is, because she's like, I'm not ready to put those words out there.
I that's exactly what I was feeling. Ooh, that gave me chills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lisa and Whitney fly together, and you're not on Beverly Hills because they're flying commercial and not like in
And
some
you know
jet.
what? I'm totally fine with that. I
Thank
prefer
you.
that. One, for
Me
the environment,
too.
and two, who cares?
Thank you. I'm like, we don't need this. It's so expensive. It's so bad for the environment. It's like, guys,
It
just
doesn't
fly on a damn
matter.
plane.
Fly on Delta One. You'll love it. You'll get to lay
Yeah,
down.
totally. That's a flex. Okay.
Right. Right.
That's a flex. We all know what that costs. Okay. Heather is like, but this little montage of everyone talking shit about going to Arizona and why they're not excited. Heather's like, it's just like Utah, except warmer and there's more white people, if
I
that's even
agree. It's
possible.
a very weird spot to vacation in, because it's like this. It's like the same climate.
Yeah. And I'm like, I get that they couldn't go outside of the US, but like there's a bunch of other places
Well,
they
they
could
keep
have
living
gone.
in this little strip of states. They're like Utah, Colorado, Arizona. It's like
I
we're
feel
only
they
allowed
must
to
not
hop
be able to
around
go within a
here
certain like vicinity.
because of Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Right. I feel like it's not even like outside of the US. It's like, no, not even within a certain mile radius.
But Jen's being tried in New York. They should go to New York. She could
They
have
should go
fun
to
there.
New York. They go later, clearly, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
They do. Jen's like, USA all the way. I was like, don't make me laugh, Jen. Don't you do it.
I'm laughing at her and with her all the things.
Right?
She's in so much trouble of her own making, regardless of her being
She's
fully
in so
guilty or
much
not. I'll
trouble.
let her decide that on her own. She's in so much trouble.
They walk into the house. Whitney's like, this is like Mary's house. It really was, though.
It
Like,
really was. And it made me miss Mary.
it totally did. I love the way they put in Mary going, women. What a perfect clip to use.
I think Mary would have been a voice of reason with these gals, right? This season. I wish she was
Agreed.
there, you know?
They needed to use Mary in a better way. They needed to just like let Mary come and go as she pleased.
Yeah, let her have a different rule book than the rest
Yeah.
of the housewives, you know?
I really missed Mary like complaining about everything. Like when they went inner tubing, she was so annoyed by the whole thing. She was like, Whitney, take the
I think
kids
she'll be
next
back.
time.
I think she'll be back. I really believe so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
I,
know.
I think she will be, because I think that Bravo really loves her, even though she's problematic in her own ways. And I just think she'll be, I feel it in my bones.
Okay, I hope you're right because in the right capacity, she's really funny.
I don't think they care that she didn't go to the reunion.
I think it would be really funny to do a home renovation show with Jeff Lewis renovating her home.
He would never step foot in that home. You think he would touch anything in there? No.
I just think it would be a funny thing to watch.
It would be hilarious. They
go
would
at
fight
it.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he's crazy, she's crazy, and just imagine the looks they'd give each other. Just that alone, right off the top.
You're right. You're right.
Whitney and Lisa, they go to hang in the hot tub, and Whitney does tell Lisa about blocking her childhood out. And Lisa seems surprised, and she goes, yeah, I remember things. And I'm like, wow, that was really stressful for me.
And I'm sorry, when she told the story about the slide later, I was like kind of crying laughing.
Like, especially because we're coming off Whitney, who's talking about abuse.
It was like, I remember that my dad took me to a slide and he said one last time, in the words of Ariana Grande, and then I decided to go one more time, and then I looked around and said, where's my dad? It's like that. When I'm saying it back, I'm like, that's not that crazy. Like, your parents was like, no, lady, it's time to go.
I even think she said I went like 70 more times. She's like, well, Ben, you were
I'd be
being
annoyed too if I was the
annoying.
dad.
Like, bye. We told you we were leaving.
The thing is, there are people in life that navigate it like her. Like I know people like that who are like, "You're
Me
right.
too.
I've been through some crazy shit," and they say it, and I'm like, I just have to take a deep breath, and I'm like, "You're right. For you, that is crazy, and that's
Mhm,
okay."
mhm. You're like, uh-huh. Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot for you. I'm really sorry about that. Especially because Whitney had just said, she's like, I blocked out a lot of my childhood because there was, a lot of stuff. She's like, yeah, I think I've been through a lot. It's really been stressful things. And then she talks about how her sibling, they took care of each other and they took care of her parents. And then she talks about how she thought she had a sister friendship in Meredith and she didn't. She starts crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a great friend to Meredith for 10 years and I make
So you
one
were.
mistake. And then I make one
Right.
mistake and that's it. That's bullshit. And the bummer is like when they showed that cold open and there was like them talking about how much they love each other, I'm like, I don't really think you guys really, really loved each other. I think it was just like one of those surfacey friendships.
Well, I think they were real friends, but I think it's like it was a friendship. It was just like they've known each other for so long that they would always invite each other to the things because they're like, oh well, Meredith, I've known her forever. But I don't think they were like best besties. But once they got cast on the show, they're like,
Yeah.
you're the person I know. So like I need to
Yeah.
cling to you. But especially because Meredith didn't really live there. So I think it was like when she was here, we would do things together because that's my Park City friend. And then because they like full time lived in like both Chicago and New York, I think. And then when they got
Mm-hmm.
cast on the show, moved back to Park City.
Mm-hmm. So I
So I think
Lisa's
it's a little
doing
bit of both. Yeah.
Lisa's doing a good job of feeling really bad for herself in this scenario. She feels very bad for herself.
She always says that. I feel
But
bad for me too. So
I
my
feel
favorite
bad for me
line.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
she feels really bad for herself.
Mhm.
The other women arrive and Lisa's really trying to get some shit out of Whitney. She's like, "What did Meredith say? What did Meredith say? Tell me everything." And Whitney's like, "I think you guys need to talk."
Mhm.
And Lisa's like, "Well, look, I have forgiven myself, and I can't wallow in self-hatred." It's like I wish this is what I wish that Lisa would just kind of like not even try to talk. I wish she'd be like, "Fuck you, Meredith." Like,
Mhm.
I wish she'd be like either a bitch or wallowing, like Ramona's singer level with Bethany in Mexico, like
Yeah.
going over the top. But instead, she's like a little bit, like giving her a little tiny bit, just looking weak. And I just it's not landing for me. Like, and I love my Barlow, but I'm like, you're not going far enough one direction or the other.
Yeah, it's like we've only got five here. We gotta
Mm-hmm.
like amp it up. You know, like if
Mm-hmm.
the fighting's happening, bring it up. We gotta just engage. We gotta go. There's literally five women.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not very many.
Yeah. So like if Meredith walks in and doesn't want to say hi to you, be like, "Hey
You
Heather, hey Jen."
right. Get
Fuck
in
you,
there.
Meredith.
Get in the mix.
Yeah. Like forget it. And so, all right. So the ladies are there. Women, Whitney's like, we have a shaman coming. And she's like, this is my now third attempt at healing. And if it doesn't work, I'll give up after this. I'm like, you are brave.
I
And
think this is a successful attempt, though.
I agree. I think this went really well.
Yeah.
Um, I can I can already see that Jen is like about to cry because all Whitney has to say is Jen is going through a lot. And Jen is like, thank you. And so she starts crying. I was surprised in her confessional that she said that these four women have been there for me. Because I feel like she thinks that Lisa is not a part of that. But I was like, okay, you included Lisa. That's good.
I think they have like I don't
Yeah.
think you heard them talking. They were talking at Watch What Happens Live. I think it was how they all like went to dinner after last year's
Yeah.
reunion, even though that reunion was like wild. Like I think that they have. There's only five of them. Mary has always been the outsider of the five of them, and I think the five of them have had a connection. They've been on a wild journey together. Like they will always and forever have like a bond, be whether it's tumultuous or not. So I think I get it. I get what she means. Like they have been there for her.
I am just
I don't know
relieved.
that she has a lot of friends, Jen.
Right?
I don't know that she does.
I agree. I'm
She
just happy
seems
that
to
she's
pay
not
most of her
doing
friends.
that.
Yeah,
I'm just happy she's not like, except Lisa and like playing that
yeah, I
game.
agree. I agree. That was refreshing.
Because after remember the reunion? And remember how she went for Lisa? It was like, okay, you need to tone it down.
Yeah.
Remember, she was like, what docket? What's a docket? I'm like, you know what a docket is, all right?
God, that reunion exhausted me.
It was too much.
Yeah.
Was it 4 parts? It was 4 parts, right?
I don't know. I hate 4-part reunions. I've never thought the only one that was sort of okay was Potomac because the last one was not really a reunion. It was just like a fun shoot the shit with Nicki Minaj. So that was fine, I guess. But like overall, I'm a 3 is too many, girl.
Yeah, you can be 2.
Yeah.
2, pack them with content.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's finish it up. Okay, but then we get this scene. Whitney and Heather talking about how Meredith brought up the Lisa Barlow rumors. And look, I understood Heather in this moment. Like, she's like, I'm trying not to smile. I get it. Like,
it's fun. It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
It's like, wait, hold on. Meredith was willing to talk about this shit on camera. Like, right. What? But then, of course, Whitney's like, wait, hold on. Like, I now feel bad though, because I was participating. Now I'm like here with Lisa, and now I feel bad. So should I maybe give her a heads up? And Heather's like, wait, hold on. Yeah. Don't do that. What we see though in this preview for next week is that clearly Heather's been actively participating and gossiping about Lisa and said rumors. And so Heather probably doesn't want these heads up to come because she's, been a part of it.
Right. And I said this on, I can't remember, it was some podcast last week, but I think the problem here is that they're playing 2 very different games. So like Heather is playing what she thinks is like her role as fan favorite, like kind of like the Greek chorus, like laughing at what's going on, like kind of surface level with everyone. All, that's, and kind of like an exterior narrator to their lives. And Whitney is navigating a different game where she's literally entrenched in it. She's living some real trauma. She's trying to use this show as a way to really access like her feeling, like she's growing on the show and like using it right in a very different way. And so I saw it in that scene. Heather is like, they look completely different. Like Whitney's trying to have a real conversation, and Heather is like 1 second away from looking like dead in the camera's eye, being like, "Can you believe this?"
It's so true.
So it doesn't work. And if I was Whitney and experiencing Whitney's stuff, I think I would be very taken aback, being like, "Why are you reacting this way as my friend? Like, you're not acting like yourself."
Right?
She's acting like the fan of the Housewives, sort of.
You can tell that they've been doing that with like Angie, because they've been hanging out with Angie Harrington, and they've all been like, oh yeah, let's be like gossiping about Lisa. So that's been their normal thing. But Whitney's like, hold on, wait. I'm now deeper and more introspective. And Heather's like, when did we become this person? We hate Lisa.
Yeah. But yeah. It's interesting. You're seeing the cracks, and it's making me really sad and upset, but it's also really good television.
I'm like loving it.
I am too, and I have not been loving them.
Yeah. No,
I did not like last season actually much at all.
Same. Did not enjoy. All right, Shaman time, but Meredith, she cannot handle it. I kind of don't blame Meredith. Meredith had a really, really rough time with the ladies being like, did your dad really have a funeral and all of that? It was just very
fucked up.
Terrible. Oh, it's really bad. It was like, prove that you were at his memorial. I don't even really know whose fault that whole thing was, but it was not good. It was terrible. So she's like, I don't want to go. But anyway, the girls are down there with their shaman session where they give the cacao drink, and Heather goes, I thought that would taste different.
Yeah, you hear chocolate, you're like, oh, it's the hot chocolate.
Yeah,
but cacao is like bitter.
It is. Lisa loves it though. Lisa's like, I've never done any drugs except Diet Coke,
and now I can add cacao to the list.
Meredith arrives late, and then of course she sits next to Lisa, and the shaman's like, is there anything you want to share, release? And she's already crying. She's like, I'm not ready.
Wait, no, the best part though is she goes, the woman who showed up late, do you have anything to release?
Is that what she said?
Yes, that's something like, it was like the lady or the woman who showed up late. And she wasn't trying to be shady. I just think she doesn't know who this is.
She didn't know her name.
She's like, a woman.
That's perfect. That's like when you're late to like a group fitness class and they call you out.
Yeah. Oh, big pet peeve.
Yeah, of course.
As a previous fitness instructor, big pet
Of
peeve.
course. Especially at a
At some
spin
point, you
class.
just don't get to go.
Yes.
Like it's and even with this, like I'm like, you don't get to go to the shaman.
Yeah, skip it. You can
You
skip it.
can't walk in. There's a certain point in a theatrical experience and a
Mm-hmm.
most things that you signed up for. Very rarely is it like okay to just like show up like
Yeah.
very late.
Yeah.
I have a very short fuse for lateness
Agreed.
because
Agreed.
I got here.
Yeah. Right.
That's my big thing. My, you know, a big pet peeve in the city too is people will be like the trains, and I'm like, well, guess what, bitch? I too took a train to get here, and I got
Mm-hmm.
here early. So just wake up a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Those excuses don't work when everyone has to use the same sort of transportation or route.
Correct.
It's like, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, the shaman makes them all lie down and like let
Mm.
things go. And, tears are flowing. And then this is where Lisa is letting go of abandonment and she
At the
talks about
slide.
the slide.
I hate to laugh because it did affect her,
It
but it was
did.
just so funny.
It was hard to not laugh because I thought I was hearing it wrong. I'm like, she said her parents were like, one more time. And then she's like, I waited for them to walk away. And then I was like, I'm going to go back on the slide some more times. And then I went up to the desk and was like, where are my parents? You didn't even notice I was gone. I'm like, am I hearing this wrong? They told
Also,
you one more time.
right.
And
And don't you see her just holding a Diet Coke throughout all of this at all ages?
little teeny tiny Diet Coke.
No, I even
Oh,
picture
you
like a
see
big
like a big.
styrofoam. She's like this big, but she's like walking around with like the styrofoam, be like, "Did they forget about me?"
Hey, did you see my parents?
That slide, I love that. So stupid.
That's amazing. Meredith talks about she's like, I'm back to last year with my dad and my nephew and the treatment she received. So they're wrapping it up and like asking, I wait, did you hear when Meredith says that she's like, this isn't my first time working with a shaman?
Yeah, of course she would pronounce it like that.
Yeah, right. Because she said it right earlier. I'm like, don't now pronounce it like that's the correct way. I'm pretty sure that's the incorrect way.
I think it is the incorrect
Yeah, that's not right. No one has ever said that. But then she's like, I'm sorry for being late, but it's because it just didn't feel safe. I'm very triggered about being here. The last trip after my father's death was weaponized against me. And this just doesn't feel like a safe space for me. And Lisa says, I'm sorry that I'm no longer a safe space for you. And Meredith says, you are not a safe space, Lisa. I'm like, okay, Meredith. Like, I get it.
I was like, Lisa's trying to like apologize for the 10th time.
I get it, Meredith, but too much. Like, message received.
Yeah.
She knows she's trying to say she's sorry that she's no longer. So I kind of like appreciated the walk off.
Mm-hmm.
They were
I thought it was
done.
warranted. She was still thinking about that slide.
She had a lot. She had to release the abandonment.
About that goddamn slide.
and then she walks in and Meredith's like, well, I'm not going to lie. But I think everyone was kind of like, I was a little unnecessary. Like,
yeah, for someone who disengages so much, like you're really engaging in moments when you don't need to. That's the thing that bothers me about her. It's like I am all for boundaries, but it bothers me when people get to pick and choose their boundaries, but then like disregard other people's. That's what bothers me. Like you don't get to just if you can pick yours, like other people get to pick theirs. You can get mad when people like aren't engaging the way that you want them to, you know? So it's just not really fair.
I didn't like the way Heather went to get Lisa because then she was like, don't walk away, sit in it, just stay there. I'm like, she can do what she needs to do. She can go walk away. Heather, don't produce. It was very producery. It was very producer. Like it was like, okay, we don't want you walking off and doing another hot mic moment. It had that energy to it. But anyway, they went to dinner. So it was like the Shaman was like, I think now's a good time for you guys to go to dinner.
And get
Like,
drunk.
go over there. Get
She's like,
out of
start
here.
drinking. Figure this out.
Yeah. She's like, you guys probably are hungry, right? Get out of here. So at dinner, Meredith, because she was late, she's like, what did everyone said is their thing to release? And Jen, which just in her saying this line, I want to release the fear of going to trial in a month. I'm like, girl, there is no releasing the fear of going to trial in a month.
You're not going to walk into that trial lack of fear.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't really think. She's like, there's all this new information, new discovery coming in. I'm like, and that is why you will eventually be pleading guilty.
Yeah.
This new discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Got it. Talking about how she's blocking Coach Shaw when he's calling her because she's going to. She's going.
Up. I'm sorry.
Thank you. She's going 3 a.m. She's at her dad's gravesite sobbing, and he
once
calls
again
like
operating out of 10.
Where are you? I would be freaked out. Where are you? She's like, block. No. Like he's like, I can't wait for you to go to federal prison. It'll be a vacation. Just some peace and quiet in this house. Honestly. But Whitney starts crying, and this is exactly what you said. When she says that she's blocked her childhood due to abuse, the way Heather goes, it was like, hold on, wait, we haven't discussed this. And it did feel like this is something you should have told me about first.
And I think that there's a pact between them where I think Heather has some things too, of course, and she's alluded to a lot, but I think she feels a little annoyed at how Whitney is in 2 weeks of filming releasing so much that she hasn't been able to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She's
like,
like, damn it.
A week, probably not even 2 weeks of filming.
Yeah. She's like, fuck. That's already. Yeah. I don't know if it's Lisa or Meredith, but one of them goes, you're brave, Whitney. I think it's Lisa.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and Lisa, I mean, love her, but she's gonna use this against Heather because she's gonna say, "Oh, you didn't know."
Really? I knew. She told me yesterday.
At the hot tub about an hour before you got here.
Yeah, she told me, and then I told her about the slide. And then next week we see. I was right there with you. I'm like, fuck, this happens next week. The Heather Whitney fallout, and it's because Whitney is not going to let Heather act like she hasn't heard the rumors about Lisa. And because that's what Heather's trying. That's clearly Heather's going to try to be like, I've never heard anything about you, Lisa. And Whitney's like, I'm not playing that game. We're outing ourselves. We're playing the honest game now. And we've all heard shit about Lisa at the game. Angie told us about some, I don't know, I don't remember what she said, basketball player or whatever. And Heather's like,
jazz something. She's talking about jazz.
I think that's a basketball team.
Oh, I was
the Utah Jazz.
I was picturing like a saxophone.
Or like a jazz dance class.
Yeah, I was like, what does jazz have to do with anything?
Yeah, I think that's the basketball team in Utah.
I believe you.
Yes, and I think but you can see that Heather is like, this is when a bestie goes rogue, it's a dangerous thing. When it's like, when you didn't get the memo that like we're telling all the secrets, you're like, whoa, you need to check with me first, because I may not want to talk about all that.
I've been the bestie that's gone rogue before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was a situation. I would
like to know this.
There's a situation with a friend where, like, a friend was kind of like protecting a situation from another friend, but I didn't really know we were protecting that situation, and I just talked about it openly, and then got in trouble for it. So
was the friend?
Wasn't my fault.
But you didn't do it on purpose.
No, I was just like, I didn't realize that she had like protected this friend from this like secret. So
was the friend that was protecting, were they like, what are you talking about?
No, so the other friend that had gotten essentially lied to, was like, wait, what? And then like looked at the other friend and the friend kicking under the table. There was a lot happening there. So.
Oh, I've actually maybe not. Maybe I have done that. I feel like I've been in that situation, and there's no backing out. Once it's out, you're like,
I'm really bad at not talking about it. That's the problem I have with. I'm not a very good secret keeper because like
me neither.
I'm really excited for people, or I'm really like I want to get to the bottom of things. Like so, sometimes I'm not the best person to go to if you have something really serious you need to talk about. Not have at least one person learn about it.
Yep, I'm honest about that. When I was still in the when I was in the restaurant world and someone would come up and be like, "Can you keep a secret?" I would say, "No." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, I just am honest. Like especially when like if I'm drunk, forget it.
Yeah. You're like, what bartender did you fuck? Don't tell me because I'll tell everyone.
Yeah. Because I just don't think anything's sacred. So no. I'm like, what? And I'll go tell everyone. So yeah, that's oh yeah. Okay, well, that wraps us up. Thank you. That was a treat.
It's so much. We somehow made a very serious episode a little light.
We did. We did. Let's do the thing where you tell everyone where to find you.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at the Tom Hamlet. Also, the podcast I host is called Dumpster Dive. We talk about people's origins of reality television as well as diving into current reality TV. Mostly talking about Bravo. We dabble into some other things every once in a while, but we're currently doing a Halloween series on the pod that everyone should go check out and listen to. We are chatting about Halloween episodes of Housewives Past, so check that out. Those are out every Wednesday wherever you get your pods.
I love the Halloween episodes because whenever housewives fight in costume, it's iconic.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, we just did Real Housewives of Dallas where Leanne dresses up as Stephanie Holman to her own
Two-Faced.
Yeah. It was really fun. It was also fun to revisit Dallas when it was like funny and fun, not when it was bad and mean.
That last season.
That was an unwatchable season of television. Yeah.
Poor Tiffany Moon.
I know.
That was they owe her like residuals for a while. Like they
absolutely do. I think we'll see her again somewhere.
I agree. They should do like a Married to Medicine Dallas.
I think they tried to do Houston. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, did they?
I think they did. I could be wrong about that. There was definitely a third because they did Married to Medicine LA, which was okay. But I think they did try to do Houston. It was a flop. If not, maybe I just heard they were casting it. But I don't know why they don't do Married to Medicine in more places. It would be so successful.
I agree. All right, queens. Thank you so much. Don't forget to please rate and review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. And if you're listening on Spotify, all you can do is rate. So just go and rate me 5 stars, please. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and comment, introduce yourself if I haven't met you already. And love you. Bye.
Wait, my hat says Queens.
Oh my God. Hey, Queens.
Yeah.
Bye.